Welcome to the Gazette's Business Spotlight On series, presented by True North Companies. Today's series focuses on community commitment.
Today we have the Gazette's Spotlight on Community Commitment. I have the pleasure of talking with Lori Sundberg. She's president of Kirkwood Community College. Welcome, President Sundberg.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, Erin. Thanks for asking me.
So the Kirkwood is the administrator of the state's Last Dollar Scholarship Program. And as that name implies, the program is intended to cover the difference between other financial aid and the true cost of college at a community college or a private four-year college. I was wanting to ask, how big of a gap does there end up being for many students, and how important are these scholarships?
Yeah, so these scholarships, in my opinion, are really important because they cover those programs that lead directly to work. And so as you mentioned, it's a last payer. So all of the other forms of financial aid or scholarships pay first, which allows really the state to leverage all the rest of the dollars and make their dollars go farther. And so we have, let's see, I would say about 37% of our students didn't receive any other grants or awards, and so they received the full amount. So they had their entire tuition paid. And then we also then had like another third that didn't receive anything because they had other things that paid, such as Pell or scholarship. And then we had another third, that was kind of in the middle. They got a little bit of other scholarship or Pell, and then Last Dollar Scholarship paid the balance. It's important to note, though, that Last Dollar Scholarship is not financially need-based. So anyone qualifies for it if you want to go into any of these programs that are covered. So that's very different from a lot of other types of programs.
Yeah, and so the programs it's focusing on are ones that are really kind of needed, in demand around the state. Is that right?
Yes. So they have identified programs that are high demand, and they have a certain wage threshold. And I believe the wage threshold is maybe at minimum $15 an hour. If not there, it's pretty close to there. And like I said, high demand.
Okay, so I believe the Last Dollar Scholarship Program was launched in 2021. How many students has Kirkwood helped? You mentioned kind of the breakdown of these students, but how many students participated in this program?
Yeah, so it was launched in the fall of 2019.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's been going on longer than even what I thought as well, as I was doing the research for this. And since the start of the program, we've had 2,108 students served and helped by LDS. And so in my opinion, that is a big success.
Now, did those numbers you found, did they show like what that dollar amount kind of came to?
Yeah, I actually have that in front of me. So the first year we received to give to our students 1,710,000. For 2020-21, it went up to 2,212,000. And for 21-22, it was 2,174,000. And but we still have the summer session to go. So it will probably exceed last year's as well.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of money,
A lot of money, and it makes an impact. The only thing that I would say is that we always want to remember that tuition and fees are, a component of what it takes to go back to college. But as we all know, there's living expenses, there's books, there's if you're a parent, there's childcare, all of those other things that go into being successful at college.
Yeah, that's true. I have a high school junior, and I'm starting to think about that more. There are those extra costs you have to figure out. Now, during and after the pandemic, enrollment has slipped at community colleges and other, four-year colleges and universities across the country. And Kirkwood has fared better than other community colleges in Iowa. How do you think Iowa's 15 community colleges can work to boost enrollment, especially given the ongoing importance of a college degree?
Yeah, so that's the million-dollar question, right? Is why did enrollment slip? Because it slipped, as you mentioned, across the board, whether it be university or community colleges. Community colleges in particular took a bigger hit than the universities. But if you think about it, It's not really surprising. We are here, we're not selective. We take anyone wherever they are in their educational journey. And we have students at first generation, a lot of low income. And so it's not surprising that the types of students, some of the students that we have would be harder hit by a pandemic. And what I say is that for many people, going back to college is a huge deal. They have to make a pretty sizable change in the way that their life is. I mean, they have to figure out how they're going to pay for everything, and they have children, and how they're going to take care of the children, and how they're going to get their homework done while they're trying to work, and all of those kinds of things. And then you throw in a pandemic and a derecho, and all of a sudden, going back to college just feels like it's insurmountable. And so it's really not surprising, I guess, that community colleges took a hit. But what we really have to do now is we have to get out there and try to convince people that it certainly is the time to come back. And that I know, like for Kirkwood, we have lots of supports in place. We have a food bank, we have counseling, we have advisors. And so we have a lot in place to help students be successful, because we understand that, this is a challenging time to try to go back to college.
Well, and even though the job market is strong and in a lot of sectors, there's more jobs than there are people to take them, it's still, research does show having some sort of post-secondary education does improve your income potential over time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think that is part of the challenge for us, though, right? Students are thinking, well, maybe I'll just work for a while because wages have been driven up, and there's a lot of sign-on bonuses right now. But what we know is that over the course of your lifetime, it certainly pays to get a college education. And so we're hoping that we get those students back to us and we can get them through.
Yeah, well, on behalf of all those students you serve, those non-traditional students, the students right out of high school, others that may need to come back after taking a break, thank you, President Sundberg, for your commitment to community.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for allowing me the opportunity to talk about this program and to talk about Kirkwood.
For access to all of the Gazette Spotlight Business Series, visit thegazette.com/spotlight.